The first signs of spring are always something special, almost magical. It begins so quietly that you might miss it if you are not paying attention. One day, the trees stand bare, the air feels still, and the colors of the world seem muted, but then something changes. A tiny bud appears on a branch. The grass seems a little greener. There is a softer feeling in the breeze, a gentle warmth that wasn't there before. You take a deep breath, and the air smells fresher, lighter, as if it has been washed clean during the long months of winter. The blossoms begin to open slowly, like they are stretching after a deep sleep. At first, you notice only a few shyly peeking out, but within days the branches are covered in delicate petals. They sway gently, carried by a soft wind that whispers through the trees. It's the kind of breeze that makes you want to stop walking, close your eyes, and just stand there, feeling it on your skin. The sound is different too, lighter, more alive. You can hear the rustle of leaves that weren't there before, the distant trickle of melting snow turning into a stream, and the faint hum of life returning. The mornings have a new quality to them. The sun, which used to rise reluctantly, now wakes earlier and greets you with a golden glow. The frost that once clung stubbornly to the ground has vanished, replaced by dew that glistens like tiny jewels in the grass. You might find yourself stepping outside just to feel that crisp freshness against your face. Even the shadows feel different, softer, warmer, as they stretch across the ground. Walking down the familiar streets or through the park feels like seeing them for the first time. The gray, quiet world of winter has been replaced by color and movement. Little patches of yellow daffodils appear along the pathways, their bright faces turning towards the sun. Pink and white blossoms cluster together, creating canopies that shower petals onto the path when the wind passes through. Even the sky seems brighter, a clearer blue that makes everything beneath it feel more alive. You notice people change too. Strangers walking by have lighter steps, as though their mood has lifted with the season. Doors and windows open to let the fresh air in, and children begin to play outside again, their laughter blending with the songs of the birds. Speaking of birds, their presence is impossible to ignore now. They seem to return all at once, filling the air with chirps, trills, and calls that weave together into a cheerful melody. The air itself feels full of promise. There's something about this time of year that reminds you everything can begin again. The cold months may have been long and quiet, but spring arrives like a gentle reminder that change is always possible. It tells you to look closely, to notice the small transformations, a sprout breaking through the soil, a bee visiting the first flower, the way the sunlight lingers just a little longer each evening. Everywhere you look, the world seems to be waking up. It's as if nature has thrown open its curtains and decided it's time to start the day. And as you stand there, watching the blossoms sway, feeling the soft breeze against your cheek, you can't help but smile, knowing that this is only the beginning. There's something about a peaceful walk in the park on a spring morning that feels almost like stepping into a different world. The air is cool but not cold, fresh but not sharp, carrying with it the gentle fragrance of flowers just beginning to bloom. Each breath feels like it fills you with a quiet kind of happiness. The sunlight, still soft and golden at this hour, filters through the branches, casting playful patterns on the path ahead. You can hear the distant rustle of leaves swaying gently, as if the trees themselves are waking slowly, greeting the day with unhurried grace. It's during moments like these that you notice the small, beautiful details that might have gone unseen in the rush of a busy day. A butterfly flutters past, its wings so delicate and colorful that you can't help but pause to watch. It moves as if the air itself is carrying it, drifting effortlessly from flower to flower. Sometimes it hovers for just a moment, as though deciding which bloom deserves its attention before moving on, leaving a little shimmer of magic in its wake. Soon, another joins, and together they weave through the air like tiny dancers performing an unplanned ballet, their wings catching the sunlight in flashes of orange, yellow, and pale blue. The birds are awake now, too, and their songs fill the park with music no instrument could match. They sing from the treetops, from hidden branches, and even from the grass, as though each has a story to tell. Some notes are quick and bright, like laughter. Others are slower and sweeter, as if they are meant to calm the soul. You might catch sight of one hopping across the path, head tilted, searching for breakfast in the grass. Another might dart past you so quickly that you feel the rush of its wings before you even see it. And then there's the joy of spotting a bird perched quietly, as if watching you back, both of you sharing the same peaceful moment. As you walk further, you realize the world around you is alive in a way that only spring can bring. The flowers along the edges of the path open towards the sun, their petals fresh and vibrant. Dew still clings to the grass, sparkling like tiny gems. Every step you take feels light, almost weightless, as though the season itself has lifted something from your shoulders. The gentle hum of bees joins the morning chorus, adding a steady rhythm beneath the fluttering wings and melodic calls. You notice how the park holds a balance between movement and stillness. There's the flutter of butterflies, the quick hop of a bird, the rustle of leaves, yet there's also a deep calm that wraps around everything, making you want to slow your pace, to savor each step. Every sight and sound feels like a reminder that life, in all its forms, thrives best when it moves gently and purposefully. It's in moments like this, walking slowly through the park, breathing in the fresh air, and listening to the simple beauty of nature, that you feel truly connected to the world around you. The butterflies don't hurry, the birds don't rush their songs, and yet everything happens exactly as it should. You keep walking, but part of you wants to stay, to sit beneath the trees and let the morning unfold at its own pace. And maybe in that stillness you realize that this peaceful harmony is the real gift of spring. There's a certain joy in seeing gardens wake up after months of winter stillness. It begins subtly, almost like a secret the earth is sharing only with those who take the time to notice. The once bare flower beds now hold splashes of color, as if an artist has returned to repaint the world. Fresh green shoots push up through the soil, eager to meet the light. Buds open into blossoms of pink, yellow, purple, and white, each one catching the sun in its own delicate way. The air feels richer here, carrying the faint scent of tulips, daffodils, and newly cut grass. A fragrance so fresh it seems to promise new beginnings. The lawns have transformed too. What was once a dull shade of winter brown now glows with vibrant green, each blade standing tall and full of life. You can almost hear them swaying together when the breeze passes through. That deep, healthy color seems to make everything around it brighter, the flowers more vivid, the sky a sharper blue. There's a sense of balance in it all, a reminder that nature knows exactly how to put itself back together after a long rest. Somewhere in the distance, the gentle hum of a lawnmower drifts through the air. It's not loud or intrusive. Instead, it blends with the sounds of the season, a steady, comforting rhythm that feels like part of spring itself. It reminds you of weekends spent tending to the garden, the satisfying pattern of neat lines across the grass, the smell of clippings warm in the sun. That sound tells you that people are outside again, caring for their little pieces of the earth, making them ready for long afternoons and quiet evenings surrounded by beauty. Bees and butterflies seem to sense the change as well. They weave through the gardens with a sense of purpose, visiting flower after flower as though they've been waiting for this moment all winter. A robin lands nearby, tilting its head before darting into the grass in search of breakfast. Everywhere you look, there's movement, not the hurried, restless movement of city streets, but a gentle, unhurried flow of life that matches the rhythm of the season. The sunlight feels different here. It's warmer, softer, wrapping around everything with a golden glow. Shadows stretch lazily across the garden paths, broken by the gentle swaying of flower stems and the slow turn of leaves in the breeze. There's a quiet harmony to it, as though each part of the garden, from the smallest sprout to the tallest tree, is working together to create something beautiful. Walking along, you feel yourself slowing down without meaning to. There's no rush, no reason to hurry past something so alive. You might stop to kneel beside a flower bed, noticing how each petal curves perfectly, or to run your fingers through the cool, fresh grass. The world beyond the garden might still be busy and noisy, but here it's calm. Here there's space to breathe. And as you pause, listening to the mix of birdsong, the hum of the lawnmower, and the faint rustle of leaves, it becomes clear that spring has not just returned to the gardens, it has returned to you as well. Easter morning always carries a certain kind of excitement in the air, the kind you can feel even before you open your eyes. The day seems brighter somehow, as if the sun itself knows it's a time for joy. Families gather early, some in kitchens busy with the smell of baking bread or cakes, others outside, arranging colorful eggs in secret spots for the hunt that will come later. There's a gentle hum of voices, the clink of mugs filled with tea or coffee, and the sound of children's laughter spilling in from the garden. The garden itself becomes a magical place on this day. Brightly painted eggs peek out from behind flower pots, nestle between patches of grass, and hide among bushes just waiting to be discovered. Each one is a tiny treasure, decorated with patterns, swirls, and cheerful colors, reds, blues, yellows, greens that stand out against the fresh spring landscape. You can see the anticipation in the children's eyes as they wait for the signal to start, baskets in hand, hearts racing with the thrill of the search. When the hunt begins, the garden comes alive with movement. Little feet dart across the grass, weaving between trees and flower beds, as squeals of delight ring out each time an egg is found. Older children run ahead with quick eyes, while younger ones move carefully, turning over leaves or peeking behind benches, determined to fill their basket. And all the while, parents and grandparents watch with warm smiles, offering gentle hints or cheering on each discovery. It's a scene that blends excitement and tenderness, a shared joy that belongs to everyone present. Between games, there are moments to sit together, sharing food and stories. Plates fill with fresh fruit, slices of cake, and the rich taste of chocolate from the eggs that have already been claimed. Conversations flow easily, tales from past Easters, plans for the months ahead, and little moments of laughter sparked by the day's events. The warmth doesn't come only from the spring sun. It comes from being together, from the simple comfort of familiar faces and shared traditions. Sometimes a new game begins spontaneously, perhaps a race across the lawn, or a challenge to see who can balance the most eggs in their basket without dropping them. These small competitions are never truly about winning. They're about the fun of playing together, of hearing the collective cheer when someone succeeds, or the good-natured laughter when an egg tumbles to the ground. Even those who aren't playing become part of the moment, clapping, calling out encouragement, or simply enjoying the lively scene. As the afternoon stretches on, the pace slows, the baskets are full, the games have been played, and the sun begins to dip lower in the sky. People lean back in their chairs, sipping drinks, feeling the pleasant tiredness that comes from a day spent outdoors in good company. There's a sense of contentment that settles over the group, a quiet understanding that these are the moments that stay with you long after the day itself has passed. And as you watch the last of the golden light touch the colorful eggs still lying in the grass, you can't help but think that Easter is less about what is found and more about who you find it with. Spring has its own little tests, and for many, hay fever is one of them. It starts innocently enough, a tickle in the nose, a faint itch in the eyes, nothing you can't ignore at first. But then the sneezes come, sudden and strong, arriving in sets of 2 or 3, leaving you with a slightly dazed expression and a handful of tissues. The air is full of pollen now, carried by the very breeze that makes the season so pleasant, and every inhale feels like a gamble. You know you might pay for it with another sneeze, but somehow it's still worth it. The mornings can be the trickiest. You step outside into the freshness of the day, the grass still damp with dew, the sunlight soft and golden, and yet within minutes your eyes begin to water. It's not sadness, it's the season itself reminding you of its presence. You rub them gently, trying to ease the irritation while still taking in the beauty around you. Blossoms sway overhead, bees move busily from flower to flower, and the birds sing their cheerful songs completely unaware that their stage is set against a haze of pollen. Some days you find yourself carrying tissues everywhere, tucking them into pockets or holding them loosely in one hand as you wander through a park or garden. A sneeze interrupts your thoughts now and then, but it doesn't chase you back indoors. Instead, you slow your pace, taking moments to enjoy the view between sneezes, letting the season unfold in all its color and life. There's a strange kind of balance in it, the discomfort of itchy eyes and the joy of seeing the world at its most alive. You notice the details more when you stop trying to rush past them. The sunlight filtering through petals, the way a breeze sends ripples across a patch of tall grass, the shimmering wings of a butterfly hovering near a cluster of wildflowers. Even with watery eyes, you can't help but smile at these moments, because they remind you that beauty isn't always easy. Sometimes it comes with its own little price, and somehow paying that price makes you appreciate it even more. Friends tease you gently when they see the signs, the red nose, the occasional sniffle, the way you squint in the sunlight as though that might help. They offer remedies, herbal teas, and suggestions that range from the practical to the slightly ridiculous. You try some, skip others, but mostly you just learn to live with it, to work the sneezes into the rhythm of your days. After all, the season won't last forever, and neither will this, and there's something about enduring it together. You spot another person on a park bench, also armed with tissues, also sniffling, and you share a little knowing smile. It's a quiet connection, an unspoken agreement that yes, this is a challenge, but it's a small one compared to the reward of being out here, surrounded by life in full bloom. So you keep going, wandering through gardens, walking along tree-lined paths, breathing in that fresh air even if it makes you sneeze again. Because in the end, hay fever is just another part of the season, a reminder that beauty often comes with its own set of challenges, and that the joy it brings makes every one of them worth facing. There's a moment every year when you suddenly realize the days have stretched just a little longer than before. It doesn't happen all at once, it's gradual, almost shy, as if the light is quietly testing how long it can stay. Then British summertime arrives, and overnight the evenings seem to open up, offering you more of the day than you had only a week ago. The clock moves forward, and though it's just an hour on paper, it feels like the gift of more time, time wrapped in the soft golden light of spring. That light is different from any other time of year. It's warmer, richer, the kind that spills through windows and paints everything in gentle amber tones. Stepping outside after dinner and finding that the world is still bright feels like a small miracle. Shadows stretch long and thin across the ground, trees glow with an almost magical edge, and the air is filled with the hum of life winding down without hurry. You find yourself slowing too, walking a little longer, taking the scenic route home just to soak it in. The evenings become their own kind of adventure. Children linger in the parks, playing games until the sky begins to blush with the first hints of sunset. Couples stroll hand in hand, their conversations flowing as easily as the light around them. Cyclists glide past on quiet roads, their paths lined with hedgerows that seem greener in the evening glow. It's a time when the world feels less rushed, as if that extra hour has loosened its grip on everyone's schedule. There's a certain peace in this extended daylight. You notice more the way a bird takes off from a fence post, the shimmer of dust motes in the air, the soft hum of insects waking up as the temperature holds steady into the night. Flowers that had opened in the morning still stand proud, catching the last rays before finally folding into rest. Even the smallest things seem touched by this light, the glint of glass in a nearby window, the ripple of water in a pond, the gleam of fresh leaves swaying gently in the breeze. At home, the change in time shifts the rhythm of the day. You might find yourself sipping tea in the garden, reading a book in the last golden hour, or simply sitting quietly, listening to the neighborhood's softened evening sounds. The air holds the faint scent of cut grass, open flowers, and warm earth the unmistakable perfume of a season fully alive. It's not just that the days are longer, it's that they feel fuller, richer, somehow more generous. And then there's the way the sunsets linger now. They take their time, moving slowly from bright gold to deep orange, from rose pink to quiet lavender. The sky becomes a canvas, shifting and changing, never repeating itself exactly the same way. You watch it, knowing that in the depths of winter you'll miss this light, but right now it feels endless, as though the season will stretch on forever. So you walk a little slower, breathe a little deeper, and let the golden evening wrap around you. Because when the days grow longer, it's not just the hours that change, it's the way you live them. And so, as spring gently weaves its way through our days, we carry with us the memory of blossoms opening after a long winter, the joy of peaceful walks where butterflies dance and birds fill the air with song, and the beauty of gardens coming alive with color and life. We remember the laughter of Easter mornings, the baskets filled with treasures, and the way even the soft challenge of hay fever can't keep us from stepping outside to breathe in the season. We feel the golden evenings of British summertime stretch out before us, giving us more hours to wander, to notice, to simply be. All of it, the scents, the sounds, the colors, the moments, becomes a reminder that change can be gentle, that beauty can be found in the smallest details, and that time, when filled with such simple joys, is never wasted. So as the days grow brighter and the evenings longer, may we keep our eyes open, our steps unhurried, and our hearts ready for every little gift this season has to offer. Until next time, carry spring with you wherever you go.